Hi, Professor. My name is Mehul, and today we are gonna talk about the case study presentation of Whale essay for the subject MGOMT 6002 Business Decision Analytics, and we'll start with the team role. So let's talk about myself. So my background is engineering, and my majors in management and finance. My personality is team player and driver, and I'm handling the role of chief account officer for the Whale project, who looks after the overall profitability of the project. And the other team member is Daniel, who is chief executive officer of the project, who looks after the stakeholder activity, project profitability, partner engagement, and profit sharing too. So let's talk about the scope of the project. So the scope of the project is we are going to use the different decision making tools and technique to measure the analytic and behavior approach of an organization to take the decision, and the same we are going to use for the Whale project. So Whale is going to invest in the China, so we make sure the investment is profitable or not for the future.
Okay, so we're talking about the Way West Project 3, which is can you go ahead, please? Which is a joint venture between Veio and Nimbu Port Company. The project's like the idea of the project expand the actual project and building a new storage yard and two loading berths. And this project will increase the actual capacity of the port in 20 millions of metric tons per year. And the idea, the case study is identify and analyze if the project is worthwhile for fail. So, assuming that at the end of the project, they will use 50% of the capacity of the increase in capacity of the port, and that at the average price of the iron ore of like $70 ton, the company will have an increase of in its revenue of 700 million a year, and also increase in its cost uh, production cost of production shipping of like 327 million a year. Therefore, the company will have a net profit of 373 million every year. And we also calculate the total cost of the project, assuming that the company, knowing that the company will have to raise at least 70% of the total amount of money to invest in the project. And therefore, the company will have to pay interest rates in this amount of the money rates. Oh, the total cost of project will increase by, assuming that the average of the interest rates will be 4 a year. The total project will increase at 56 million a year. Then at the final of the project will be around like 680 million, the total cost of the project. Sorry, you can go. Also, we calculate the payback period of the investment, but in this case, we assume that they will split its net profit with the another company, with the partner in the project. Therefore, the payback period is to be of 4 years for the total cost of the investment.
Yeah, so as Daniel said, the data speaks for itself. So based on that data, we are gonna make the decision that whether this project is profitable for Whale or not. So to make the decision, we are gonna use three decision making models. The first one is rational decision making model, which is in which you gather the data and all collect all the information what you need for the project, and from the data and information you get the knowledge out of it, and using your wisdom you will decide that whether his investment is profitable or not. The second one is the intuitive model, which is nothing but you take the decision based on your feelings, your guts, or your past experience, or your maybe informal judgment, and you take decision based on it. And last but not the least, the balance model, which is the combination of both of these, rational and intuitive model, where you look after the data to take the decision, and also you use your past experience or feeling to take the decision. Uh, so here we have the eight basic decision making steps. Majorly, this falls in the rational decision making models. So it always advisable to use this eight step, whether you are taking an individual decision or taking decision for an organization. In Whale, we have used the same step. So the first one is like we are gonna identify the problem or the key things or scope of the project. The second one is like decision criteria we need to make on what criteria we have to take the decision. Third one is like we are giving the weightage of each criteria. The next one is like we also generate the alternatives, that if we don't invest in this project, then what are the other investment we can use from the same amount, or maybe what other alternatives we can find to invest within the same industry. The fifth one is like we are gonna evaluate the each alternatives, and among those each alternative we will choose the best one, and based on that we take the decision, and lastly we will evaluate the decision, that yes, the decision is good or not for an organization, or also it needs any modification, rectification or not, so we can get it from it.
So the evaluation of the project, we know that at the end of the project, the value, you guarantee a total of port capacity of 40 million of metric tons per year. So the company will have a large place to storage products, and will be the second center of distribution in Asia. And the company will be able to ship more uh, sorry, the company will be able to transport each ship at full capacity, reducing its cost, which is not happening at the moment because the company doesn't have a place to storage in China, in Asia. And therefore, the company will increase supply to a very good strategic mark since the last year, 70% of the production from of the production, various productions went to have a destiny had it went straight to China because it's a very good strategy at the moment since uh, we have like issue between Australia and China. And also with the second center of distribution in Asia, the company will improve its logistics and become more competitive in the market, especially against Australia.
Yeah. So let's do some SWOT analysis of the project, which help us to define the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for the projects. So the strength for this project is like the Whale. They have a very strong brand portfolio. Also, they have a good distribution network. They have a good amount of cash flow with them, and their track record with the new market or new region is exceptionally good. So that's what their strength is. Their weakness is as of now they do not have any operations in China. They are just supplying their material to China, and for them to investment in port is also a new kind of opportunity. So that is also their weakness. They haven't done it before, so it's a new challenge for them. They did it, but to do the 100% or maybe licensing with some other company and doing investment in port is bit new for them. And also they need to get the rules and regulation of Chinese government if they wanted to lease out the port for other company. So these are the basic weaknesses what we can see for the Whale as of now. The opportunity for Whale is like China increasing demand of iron ore in China, that is exceptionally good and increasing day by day. The second one is like Chinese trade policy with the other countries. It is not so good right now. If we talk about the Australia or maybe European company or maybe USA, then Whale has a good opportunity right now. The corona effect is also affected a lot of companies and a lot of government as well, and the fuel price is increasing day by day. So based on that, the logistic and transportation cost is also increased. So we can have a good straight away transportation and storage option if they invest in this port project. And few of the threats are there. for this project, which is like Chinese trade policy. As we all know that they usually change their trade policy based on the government conflicts, you know. So it mix up both government and businesses. And the other thing is like the company, like the country of government of other countries may put a pressure on Brazil government or maybe on the organization directly to not do trade with China. There is also an threats of new entrants in the market, because everything cause a new opportunity for the other countries like European countries or maybe other countries. And also the Chinese labor market is also not stable.
So our recommendation for the project, we believe that the project, West Tree project, is an excellent solution for Vail, really worthwhile. We can see like that's gonna be a very profitable project. Israel is conquering a very good strategic market. I think this like joint venture between the two companies will bring more future opportunities for both countries, and it's gonna strengthen the relationship between them.
So yeah, the concluding the project, as Daniel said, the project is worthwhile. Looking at the data and the profitability, the project looks nice, you know. Talking about the project, and we have also utilized the decision making tools. We have took the decision based on our analytic and behavior approaches. And also we are working in the group, which is always best spot to remove your blind or bias spot. So that also helped us to take this decision, and that's what we wanted to suggest for the will to invest in this project. And here are few of the references from which we have gathered all the data. And yeah, with this we wanted to terminate our presentation.
Yes,
You have a bit
that's good.
point.
That
Thank
comes
you.
to end. Thank you very much.
Thank you.